I want you guys to get to know me a bit more and a bit better for this video. As you can see by the title, it's called Message, and I want you guys to get a glimpse and a hint to the music I listen to, and what it is that I collect before I actually get into the topic of this video. So the clips that you're about to see is the things that I listen to, what I collect, what brings me hope, what gives a message in today's music. And this video is for today's generation, the babies, the young ones, and hopefully that you guys are listeners and you can listen and be open-minded. I know today's generation is used to what's the word I'm looking for? Digital music, online music, streaming, where everything is at the touch of your fingertips. But you need to understand, if it wasn't, if that, how can I really put it into words? You need to know what physical music looks like. Physical. And without physical, you all wouldn't be able to have the streaming that you guys have today, the digital music. So, I collect vinyls. I am a vinyl collector. And I'm also a musician myself. I do music as well. I'm 28 years old. And I had my fair share of vinyls when they came out. I'm going to pull these right here. I'm not going to get into all these right here that I'm about to grab. Cassettes, tapes. These are stuff that I have done right there. Just to know a few. Just like I have done CDs. Now the CDs I have done, they are put away, wrapped up and preserved for storage, so when I have a child of my own, my child can look back and say, this is what my father used to do. And today's vinyl is actually in a good market, and hopefully that the younger audience will hopefully appreciate one day when they get older and old enough, and what music and hip-hop was to me, or a lot of us old heads that you guys call us. And something that you guys need to understand, we take our message very seriously. We take what actually has value and something that represents a certain time and a place and an era. And we can't get those back because they're gone. So we have to cherish what's left. And a lot of us, like myself, there's money and there's value in collecting. And it's all about receiving a message, because there's times where some of us, when we're out in the streets, we always said to ourselves, there's no one that has a voice for us to represent our struggle and what we do. Music, hip-hop started really in Jamaica. The sound, the rhythm started in Jamaica. A DJ from Jamaica came to New York City and Brooklyn and made hip-hop. Hip-hop. After that, guess what came along with hip-hop? Pop music. You take a look at some of the greatest of all times that have done hip-hop and pop music. Run DMC Run DMC paved the way for people like me or people like your fathers, because they gave the message, right? Even to your uncles, they gave the message to say, hey, man, it's okay to wear what makes you comfortable. What's your style? What you wear at home, what you wear on the block. It's okay to show your passion for jewelry. Be you. It's okay. From there, with the voice of pop, the voice of hip hop, came pop. Some of the biggest names that done it that you're seeing right here. Michael Jackson gave hope to the world, a message, and his music had rhythm, vocals, skill, fashion along with that, creativity along with the videos. And he would take you away because there would be that magic of music that he gave. In today's younger generation, don't have that. There's not a message in it. Take a look at Prince, for example. Prince is one of my heroes who I look up to, a person that I really enjoy his music. You take a look at groups also for females, right? When it comes to pop and hip hop, TLC, they had messages in their music for females. They were role models for females to do right, to do positive, unlike what you would see with Nicki and Cardi. Their negative energy. You also take a look at a Left Eye, for females to be awoke and awakened rather than being closed off like you see with today's, like what the Kardashians or with the Bad Babies. They're closed off because they're afraid. They are. They're really afraid. And they're afraid to be awoke. And you go into, hip hop / gangster music, gangster rap, where you have the people who represented and talked about the struggle and those that came from the struggle as well. You got groups like NWA, with Eazy-E, Death Row with Snoop Dogg and Dre and Pac. You have people from New York like Biggie, Grandmaster Flash, KRS-One. There were so many. And you know what? They paved a way to say, rap about what you want to rap about. But you know what? They had lyrical skills. They didn't rhyme. No, they told stories. They told stories. And that's the thing that's missing with this generation. There's no storytelling. There's no really sharing your feelings, really sharing of what you have really been through, of what you've seen, because today's generation, to me, is sheltered and cuddled too much. Because I guarantee you guys wouldn't be able to handle life. And I bring up this topic because you have Bone Thugs versus the Mingos. The Mingos, believe it or not, don't let their age fool you. They're actually my age. But the thing was, they were sheltered. They were cuddled too much. So all they really know is really being dumbfounded, uneducated. And because of that, with today's music, all you hear is about jewelry and actually doing the drugs. So we're listening to the drug user rather than the drug dealer. And that's why today's millennials look up to is the crackhead on the block. Now, sadly, down here in the South, we have no block stars, no street heroes like they have up in all of New York, from Queens to Brooklyn to the Bronx to Boogie Down Bronx. Not even New Jersey. Not even in the West Coast on LA. Compton. Because down here in the South, that's all we have to look up to is the crackheads, and we admire to be the crackheads. Not to mention today's generations backward by listening to these upcoming artists like the Lil Pumps, the Tekashis, the X's, the Young Thugs, the Migos, because they're brainwashing you all to make you think you're a different sexuality when you're not. And a lot of you generations of you millennials are confused about what you are and refuse to be awake. So again, you have to go back to where music began at, with storytelling, soul, rhythm, where how physical music paved the way for online digital streaming platforms, and how hip-hop, pop, gangster rap, and then early 2000s, right from 2000, 2005 was the last real remaining music for hip-hop, because you had a lot of artists that came out during that era trying to still keep alive the message. I look up here, I got 50 Cent, a lot of Chamillionaire, Eminem, Little Mama, and even some punk gothic rock from American Satan, because they kept alive a message. Even rock groups like Guns N' Roses, you know, they told stories from the streets, from what they have seen around them. And Bone Thugs are trying to paint a message to the younger audience like, hey, you think what brings, you know, the stuff that comes from your music is success when it's not. You're barking all this stuff, but what have you showed for it? And that's what they're talking about. And I take a look, all these artists that a lot of people are admiring today, what have they truly brought to the table to show what came with their success? Like, truly, what came from that? Have you been nominated? No. Have you won any awards? No. How many truly records, a project, in other words, something physical, like a full, completed project without having any extras adding on to it? None. And that's the problem with today's generation. You show a lot of the jewelry, the money. Hey, I get that my generation, the generation before me did that. But you think the streaming numbers show success, and getting a plaque shows success, and just getting paid up front shows success, when it doesn't even show what you have even accomplished. Because them streaming numbers, they don't mean anything. And the truth of the matter of fact is, them streaming numbers, they getting split different ways before the artist sees anything. You have the label, the executives, producers, the writers, advertisement that gets paid back their money, promo cost, video cost, even if there is a video nowadays, which there really isn't. And then an artist waits a whole year after everyone else gets paid, plus the lawyer, and then the artist. So it's 9 different things with 9 different ways to get split. And those artists, they're only seeing $3,000, $2,000 left out of that. Be real talk, that's how it is. So they really put away that money and add it with the money they collect up front in the shows. And you guys thinking, oh, they get paid that much for up front? Well, the truth is, yeah, that looks nice online, but the truth of the matter of fact is that money goes quick, because you can get paid even more money collecting the back payment that goes into your account after the whole thing is set and done. Now, with that money, yeah, you do have to split it. There's always going to be that split. Your manager, road manager, the venue spot or the place where you performed at, then you, but you get to keep most of the money. And there's no message in today's music because of the bullshit, the coonery, the fuckery that comes along with it. It's all about fanatics, finessing, and brainwashed, walking around like a zombie. You know, I can't get down with today's music and I don't care for it. I don't mess with it. Now, I'm also a biased person, so let me go ahead and say this. You know, about the people that I really do actually like, you have Dej Loaf. She has a message in her music. She's my age. You have Montana 300 from Chicago. I mess with his stuff. It's street stuff. He's really keeping it alive. And only like one song from the Migos, and that's Stir Fry. But other than that, no, that's about it. So, what Bone Thugs and Harmony's trying to tell to the Migos is they're telling them this: look, you ain't did nothing yet. You ain't showed anything yet. What have you truly accomplished that you think you have accomplished when you didn't accomplish? And that's real, because you would think the Migos would have got a couple awards by now. Yeah, they don't, and there's reasons for that. Quality control, their label, quality control. You're supposed to control the quality. Well, they're not doing their job. They're putting out so much at a time that it's like one listen, that we're on to the next thing, and that's the problem, because they're not giving it time to settle, to blend. They're not giving it time to get it out there more. No, and they're not. And sadly, because of that, there will never be any message in today's music. The only thing that they're saying is, hey, be like us, be the crackheads, do the drugs, get that overdose, die, be on the Instagram, and everyone be sad for you, then gravitate towards the music, then move on to the next person, the next following week, the next following day. You know, how that usually goes in that rotation. So, when I say today's music sucks, it's because it does. When I talk about the artists I don't care for, it's because I don't, because there's nothing in it.
I have to get a new battery for my keyboard.
Just like when you... The thing is, we admire the dumb shit. And I've done a video about admiring the stupid shit, and I talk about Kodak Black and Kevin Gates.
It wasn't working today.
Check out that video. So for today's young people, slow down, take a look at things from a different angle, because you're going to need to. And most of you are so messed up now that you have kids beyond kids, but you're yet still doing the stupid shit because you're actually listening, following by people who are hypocrites. So, what you need to do, you need to get the message. As it says in this video, the message. Know your history. Communication. And knowing your history with music and how you got to the digital era is important to know it came from physical. Along with that, getting a message across is important. And it's okay to listen to the bullshit and have fun at times. But be awoke, be aware, and communication with the message is important. And know your history. And this is my collection of music.